Call this regular meeting of the Alva City Council to order, please. Can we have a roll call?
The regular meeting of Alva City Council in Alva Community Senior Center, Tuesday, September 18, 2012 at 6 p.m. Roll now. Kenny?
Here.
Linda?
Here.
Alan?
Here.
Jerry?
Here.
Edie?
Here.
The Honorable Mary Jane Sparks is presiding.
Okay. Again, if it's okay with council, we entertain our audience here. And I think, Debbie, you want to go ahead and do your trail town?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. This is just a little bit of kind of a concept to think about with some of the work that we're doing with Trail Town. So this is nothing to be voted on. This is not a proposal. This is just food for thought. This pertains to the airport property and also the depot area as we think ahead about development of those areas that would be suitable and real appropriate for Trail Town purposes. And I really want to thank you all for approving keeping the airport, and I'd like to thank Councilman Thankful for making that motion, and Senator Webb I think came and did an encouragement of that. We really appreciate that. We really see that area as an asset as we think about developing Olive Hill into a destination place for outdoor recreation. So anyway, as the Trail Town Task Force has just been trying to do some thinking about what these areas might look like, and this is city property, so obviously it's completely up to the city about how they want to move forward on it. These are just some ideas to think about. This is, you see I'm really prepared. Jackie Clevenger was going to do this presentation, and she got sick. Those of you, many of you know Jackie, but she works with an architectural group, and she was kind enough to put some of this together. She's been working on a little design team. That's a small group of us that have been kind of doing some thinking about this. This is just to give you a visual. This is the aerial view. This is Tiger Street here. So,
is this the council or a blade?
that's her running. It's really
You
running.
want it, you know, if you want it to show the public and then turn it to council or whatever.
This is just an aerial view of the Tiger Street area, and as you know, the city owns the depot and a large tract of land directly across from the depot. And according to the state's criteria for Trail Town approval, this is an assessment too, but we need to be thinking ahead about that, and that has to do with getting your town tourist ready for outdoor trail users. They want you to have a campground in town. And even now, this area is used as a picnic camp. It's worked really well. We are also hoping that as we move ahead, we can have some actual campsites with water and electrical hookup and a developed trail along the creek so that walkers can use it. We will work with the other landowners to get land use agreements, and we might be able to actually get a trail that goes maybe a mile or a mile and a half in length along the creek. If we develop it this way, it can provide access to the trail that goes up to the city lake area, and it can keep horse traffic off the streets, provided we can get all those accesses. So that's just a thought process. So let me get oriented here. Yeah, here's the creek. So what it would look like would be trail, like a walking path and a horse path along through here. We're getting a Flex-E grant in January that might help us start some of this development. These grants are for enhancing community capacity, brings lots of groups together to work on a project, and we think we can probably get landscaping donated, and they can pay for some materials. They won't let you spend all your money on materials. I know the city is on board with helping to do some of the labor. So probably just a few campsites through here. You still have open area in the middle for primitive camping or recreational activities. So that's just a thought for that area. I know less really about the airport, Sellers Field, and this is the plat map, so I don't know. visualization that Jackie put together for what it could look like. And it could involve a corral area. This would be like a small, like a shelter slash amphitheater. There's some little buildings that can be used for vendors, etc. over here. And she didn't put the campgrounds in, but there will be campsites back here. It just helps if you get a little bit of a picture. And I know this is a ways down the road. I mean, we've got a group of people really excited about doing development here, but we realized that needed to stop so we could get proper approval and proper planning. Obviously, if you build any structures for public use, they have to be submitted for approval. The state building inspector has to come and all that. So that'll just give you an idea. There's a recreational trails program grant that's coming available in the spring. Might be something we want to apply for. We can help with some of this as well, besides the okay, that's it. And the only other item that I just wanted to check on had to do with the resolution to use city streets as trails. So I don't know if that's something that had been there for a while. I think I approved it. We're anxious to get that completed.
Along with what she just talked about, the trail town, we passed a resolution last council meeting, giving the mayor authority to honor streets and city property. I have nothing wrong with that, other than anything that's done to city property probably should come before council for approval that it's on city property. I'd like that to be added to that resolution. That way everybody knows, it's on board, knows exactly what's going on. Trail Town can come to us and say, you know, this is what we actually want. So do we need a motion to amend to add that, or I would assume yes?
I would guess so. I've never remembered the resolution, so I'm not sure. I would say that we probably need to get that. You got the resolution? Probably need to have the resolution and have it amended and read it. We can do that next meeting if you guys want to. We'd like to add, I know you had the ride this weekend, and there's a tremendous amount of people in town. A lot of campers and a lot of activities going on. It's really good to see all that activity going on.
We also, I'm sorry to keep adding, but there's a lot of exciting things happening. We were visited by it's a tourism program called Best of America by Horseback. And they visit places that submit an application and they decide from those visits what will be featured on their program. And we had a visit from them this week. They were hosted by Bob Coleman, and I don't know the outcome of that. I don't know where that will head, but the fact that we were even approved based on our application was really exciting.
I appreciate it. Teresa, I think you wanted to, or you'd like to go next?
Council may or may not be aware of the project that we're doing, the Carter County Community Foundation. We have had some articles in the newspaper and the radio has talked about it. So if you're not familiar with it, Community Foundation is kind of like a savings account for our community for projects. It could be nonprofit projects, it could be city projects, or a combination of projects. Could have to do with a lot of things. So we are working, we received a grant from Brushy Fork Institute. It's the Appalachian Regional Development Philanthropy Initiative, and that gave us $10,000 to work within Carter County to establish a community foundation. And there are some partners with that, the Center for Rural Development and 3 different foundations in Kentucky, the Tri-State Foundation, the Bluegrass Community Foundation, and the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. I hope I got all the names right. Along with Brushy Fork. So we've been working for the last several months on this project. What you have before you that Lori just handed you is some information, frequently asked questions about foundations, kind of gives you some background about what they are and how they can help your community. And there's also a survey there that we had asked that each of the council members, if you would complete that. You can also get the survey online for anyone else who wants to complete that online. It really just kind of asks your opinions about what it is that you think is important for Carter County in the future. What programs would you like to see funded through a foundation? And kind of ask you to give your idea of what your vision is for the future. So I'd like to ask, that the council just support this and want you to be familiar with it about what's going on. And we have a committee that will be making a decision about this soon. And we're going to be working toward educating the public about what a foundation is and trying to answer as many questions as we can so people can understand it a little better. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the transfer of wealth. And this is a study that was conducted by the state. And just as an example, for Carter County, within the next 10 years, there is estimated to be $220 million that will leave this county and be passed on to the future generations that will move wherever they are. As children get older, they may leave our community, their families, other family members are here. When that person passes on, the money goes to their children who may live out of town or out of state. So what that could mean for us is that if we capture just 5% of that was going out of our community, that would be $11.2 million over the next 10 years that we would have as a community foundation. And how that translates into dollars, so I hope I'm not putting too many dollars out there, but if 5% of that is invested in our community over the 10 years, that's $560,000 for projects that could go. And that's just money that would be leaving our county. That's not assets that might be invested by those who are living here and are staying here and are working here every day. So that's something to think about and certainly could go a long way in developing economic development, education, lots of other things for our community. I'm not doing well on the
Oh, that wasn't good for Ethel either. Everything is, this is the dropsy corner.
This is just some information about foundations. So if y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but if you could just kind of champion this movement and let other people know what we're trying to do and pass the word along.
Teresa, are there some more of these pamphlets around?
Yes, we have, we picked up a few at Brushy Fork, but we will actually have access to a lot more. We'll have to place the order. But through the Archive Foundation, or the Archive Grant Project, these were printed up for all the communities that are working in that grant. So we can get several more of these.
Okay.
More.
Lori, did you want to add something?
No, I was just gonna, we had 2 extra copies of the frequently asked questions, and I don't know if anybody wanted one.
Yeah.
So, and this is Lori, and she's Lori Garkovich from UK. She's been working with our group to facilitate some focus group meetings. She was in town today actually to talk to some youth. She spoke with a group at East Carter High School and a group at West Carter Middle. And did you want to share some of that tonight?
All I would say is that you ought to be very proud. The students that I talk to that talk to me, because all I do is ask questions, and